Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Health, representing the Minister for Water. Happy birthday. Minister, are you content in this day and age with the approval of homes with no sewer connection and expectation that it's trucked out? The Appin MOU announcement for sewer doesn't cover the 30,000 homes approved that are being built right now in Wilton. When will the government deliver sewer for these homes so we can solve the housing crisis and my community is not left with a long drop?
Minister.
Thank you. That's a term I haven't heard for a while. My mum and dad, who make up 50% of the viewing audience, will also find that funny.
My parents are the other 50% like it too.
It's always the Illawarra.
It's a ratings bonanza.
They've only got 2 channels.
A ratings bonanza.
So the Parliament is interesting.
Mr Speaker, I thank the honourable member for her question, and from the outset I'd like to emphasise that these are issues from planning approvals many years ago, and I think the opposition would admit to take some responsibility in relation to this challenge. And I know that the Minister for Water in the other place is working with the Minister for Planning and others to work through what is a challenging issue. We know that the legacy of southwest Sydney, often considered as the dumping ground of new housing with no infrastructure support. We know that that's not okay. And we are doing our best right now to fix that by taking pressure off that region. The proposal to fast-track the rezoning of this land was made against agency advice in the dying days of the last government. Despite advice that the area lacked infrastructure and had inadequate water and wastewater supply, as you indicated in your question, the opposition, the then government, did it anyway. Mr Speaker, that is something that we cannot fix overnight, nor will we pretend to fix overnight. We're deeply engaged with Sydney Water to accelerate the capital works to prioritise the growth of housing in this area. Under the National Housing Accord, New South Wales is committed to delivering 377,000 new, well-located homes between now and 2029. As we explore options, Mr Speaker, to speed up the delivery of more homes, it is essential, as the member said, and rightly said, that we have vital infrastructure in place. Any early infrastructure will be delivered at no additional cost to Sydney Water customers or the New South Wales Government, and that is an important point to make. We are only in this situation after 12 years of wasted time and inaction on housing approvals and the building of key infrastructure to support this growth. The infrastructure, Mr Speaker, is part of the servicing arrangement in this area for Walker Corporation's Appin development, which involves a partnership with Connexa and Sydney Water to provide water services. Mr Speaker, previously released growth serving plans indicate the Appin area would not be serviced before 2032. Now, we know that infrastructure plans must incorporate sufficient analysis on community infrastructure upgrades, because let's be honest.
Member for Wollondilly.
More information.
You can have an extension. Minister has granted an additional 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, because let's be honest, we are in the midst, as the Premier, the Treasurer, the Minister for Housing and the Minister for Planning have so informed this House on so many times over the last 12 months, we are in a housing crisis and we need to build more homes and to acknowledge this crisis and do something about it. Again, I'd like to reiterate, these are legacy issues from previous planning matters and decisions taken by the former government. It will not be done overnight. It was clear the former government put the cart before the horse and just didn't properly plan for the growth in housing, especially when it comes to the region that you represent in the southwest. They rezoned housing and did not initiate the appropriate infrastructure. We clearly need more homes to tackle the crisis that we know exists within our community, but poor planning and preparation has left us in the position we are today. We are doing what we can to fix this mess, and we're starting from scratch. Appin has now been identified by the New South Wales Government as a priority for housing planning approvals for the Appin precinct. The North Appin and Glebe were state assessed planning approvals led by DPI Planning under the Rezoning Pathways program. The Department of Planning, Housing and Infrastructure has consulted Sydney Water on its servicing capacity on proposed rezonings in this area. However, the long planning lead times involved and differences in Sydney Water and DPI planning growth forecasts have contributed to former governments rezoning occurring without supporting infrastructure being available in suitable timeframes. Sydney Water is progressing for a new Upper Nepean wastewater treatment facility to service the Greater Macarthur region, which should be operational by 2032. The New South Wales Water Strategy recognises the need to better integrate land use planning and water management, and this is something that we are focused on improving.